They're always having conversations when they're drunk.
Can you look at the camera?
And we're back later than ever with the Dr. Z show.
Later than ever. No, we've done later.
Have we really? Has there been a bigger gap?
Oh, like later between episodes? No, I thought you meant like late as in the time.
Like a time?
No, we've done much later than this. But yes. So I moved, and then we had technical issues, and then we had other technical issues, and then I had to like unpack stuff and get my life in order. And then others of us had to get our life in order, and then we have more technical issues. So now we're back with the Dr. Z show for reals this time. All the other times were fake.
Hopefully, maybe your computer will overheat too. Who knows?
It better fucking not, because it's cold as shit in this basement.
Pretenders.
If your computer overheats, that's magical. I don't know how that happens.
And then
that's like not like magical like in a fun way, like not like in a like a Majoka Magica Girl like anime way. No, it's like magical like in a like black sorcery darkness way.
And then next time when we try to record after my computer has chilled, Jacob's apartment will catch on fire.
I hope not.
In the background. It's like, oh no, that's fine. It's normally like that.
Oh, this is fine.
This is fine.
I imagine the leaves of the plant in the corner just like up in flames, and you're like looking at it like, oh, whatever.
This is a side note.
It's a fake plant.
Oh, which cartoon do you relate to more? The This Is Fine where it's the dog in a room on fire, or the fire in a room of dogs? Have you all not seen the second one?
I haven't seen the second one, but did you see the sequel that
where he's like, this is not fine.
Yeah.
I would say the fire in the room of dogs, because now there are multiple dogs around at all times. Yeah, the people we moved in with have a dog who's very large and very much like, it's a male dog, but he a bitch. Patch is like very much the alpha dog, which is hilarious.
Okay,
no.
We're back.
I
guess
Patch is a dog in a room I'm a fire in a room of dogs.
You only have a cat though.
I know, but I just mean like for how my life feels.
There it is.
I don't know. It goes on. It's back and forth like every day for me.
Do you want like a full reference for what this image would look like?
I have seen that image. No, yeah.
Okay. I was expecting it to be more like the whole house was made of dogs, like as well, like not
like the picture that's only
not
Snoop
like
Dogg.
A reasonable number of dogs.
Like the picture that's only Snoop Dogg.
This is a reasonable number of dogs for sure. See, I feel more like the dog in a room on fire. I wish I were the fire in a room of dogs.
Because that would be fine.
That would be fine. This is fine.
Think of how many.
Now, you do have the eternal struggle of never being what?
Think of how many of them you could kill with your embrace.
I was literally on the same page. Yeah, like you are cursed with the inability to pet them. So it's almost like that guy in hell or in Tartarus who's like stuck in the wishing well, and the water always goes lower and the grapes always get higher. Yeah, I don't know his name.
What's his name?
I don't remember
it's Greek. I just remember that it's Greek. I want to say it's Euripides, but that's not true.
No, it's definitely not Euripides.
Eumendes?
His name is Tantalus.
Joke. Tantalus, right? That's why I think
tantalizing.
Yeah. Right? Like,
yeah, okay. Tantalus, cool.
Hey,
what's this episode about? Because we.
Wait, no, hold on. I have one more thing to add.
Speaking of Tantalus, that's a good segue. You can see.
Okay, what?
Yeah, look.
Everything's always out of reach when the controls in a video game are bad.
Yeah, this episode is about bad controls in video games, like specifically intentionally bad controls in video games. And so you know what you're supposed to do in the game, but it's unreachable.
Yes, Anthony, you have a question?
No, I had a tangent real quick about the dogs. Oh. No, it's very quick. It's very quick. There's a Twitter called Can You Pet the Dog? And every like new game that comes out that has a dog in it, it will tell you if there's an option to pet the dog.
Good. Is that? It's on the same like vein as We Rate Dogs.
Not sponsored by Can You Pet the Dog Twitter.
Yeah.
There's also a Doge Steam creator who rates things in like 3 sentences as Doge would speak about something. It's very not helpful at all.
In the year of our Lord 2020,
very unhelpful.
There's still a Doge guy. There's
the
still a
Doge,
guy.
Yeah, the Doge lives, like just like Dat Boy.
Well,
the greatest meme of all time.
No, you can't enjoy Dat Boy because Dat Boy is so adjacent to Pepe the Frog.
No, he's really not. The fact that they're both frogs is
frogs.
Not related.
But they're both one of the 4 frogs of the meme. Man,
the four horse frogs of the meme apocalypse.
Yeah, it was gonna be a great joke, and I just shut down. My brain just stopped.
See, the joke is bad, like the episode is about bad controls.
You know what? For one,
no, that was a bad segue.
For all the shit I've given you.
Like hold on a second.
I've roasted you. I'll take one. I will take this L. I will accept this L.
Okay, so should we talk about what was probably everyone's first? Because it was like middle school. I mean, I'm just gonna wildly assume that everyone that watches the Dr. Z show is our age. But
it's like a really safe assumption.
Probably.
It's a real safe assumption.
Quap. As in
Quap.
QWOP, not like...
Or Clop. I will also accept Clop, because Clop is very fun.
Or what's the other one? GURP?
GURP, yeah. So, in Quap, you are a runner, and you control each individual part of the leg. Fun.
Not each individual part of the leg, because there's like a lot of parts.
Well, it's the thighs and the
Calves.
The legs only have 2 parts.
The part above the knee and the part below the knee.
Thighs and calves. I always forget. I always think that calves is thighs, but I'm wrong.
You are.
Wait. You think that you refer to your thighs as calves?
No. I refer to my thighs as thighs, but I think that calves is an acceptable alternative because to
it's
me,
not the same. It's not the square and rectangle thing. Like
This is why I can think. So, because calves is like the other word for like baby cows, and I'm like, oh, like those are large. Like cows are large, so I'm like, it's the larger part of the leg.
Jacob, are you aware of what a homonym is?
Yeah, so I just always think.
Are you familiar?
Because I'm like, cows are large, thighs are large, therefore they are calves.
Are you familiar with the concept of jumping through too many hoops? Like,
no.
Yeah, because that feels like 6 steps to Kevin Bacon, except it's getting from cows to calves. The KALF. KALF. What is wrong with me?
It's definitely spelled with a C in both ways.
I know. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Look,
Jesus, this is just unhelpful.
The episode where Brennan
real quick though,
unravel
though, Jacob, you cannot refer to thighs as large. They are either regular size or thick. Yeah, large is no longer an acceptable way to refer to thighs.
No. I mean, if you really want to get wild, you can also. Some would accept thunderous.
No, you just add extra C's to thick.
But
based on the thickness.
150 cc's.
That's a good segue to Surgeon Simulator if that were the first game we were talking about, but it's not. We'll get there. Not. So Quap.
You control thighs and calves, which are different.
Which are not the same.
You control 2 sets of calves.
And so you're the runner, and you're trying to. It's a 100-meter dash, right?
Minimum. It's really just get as far as you can.
And it's usually like
Like 24
1 meter or 2 meters. A little tired there?
Nah, man. I got like pretty far. I've been up since 9. Can you I have things to do in my life. You moved, cool, but now you're doing that. I have to
No,
suffer.
I'm still unpacking. Sorry.
I'd rather unpack. I'd rather do that.
Jeez.
So much.
Real mad.
I am. I'm having a bad day. I'm done. I am a dog in a room that is on fire.
It's not as bad as the worst day ever, though. But that's secret backstory shit we've talked about already on the show. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so QWOP. So what is CLOP and GURP?
So in
reference
CLOP,
to QWOP, which we mostly know about.
CLOP these are both games made by the same people who made QWOP. In QWOP, you are a unicorn and you must go save the princess, and you have to ride. And each CLOP.
Is it a unicorn that rides other unicorns?
No, you are just a unicorn and you have to go save the princess.
So you would gallop.
You're galloping.
Okay.
Oh.
Or
So
not, based on the bad controls.
Well, yeah, it's more like you're flailing and then just like doing your best. But what's interesting about CLOP is in CLOP, they have like obstacles in the way. Like you have to like climb over like branches and
fuck that. No, fuck that game. No.
It's not impossible, but it is difficult. You have to climb stairs.
Yeah, so we should like make that abundantly clear. Like these are games with bad controls that are possible. Like it is possible to play them. Like I don't know.
These are intentional.
Play QWOP or CLOP. Like you would. Like it's a game, yeah, but like it's really just an exercise in like how frustrated you can get before you're like fuck everything.
It's an exercise in patience.
That, and something that I think is kind of pertinent to this conversation is that in most games there is a sense of progression that is pretty quick. You know,
yeah.
Like you started going somewhere. I understand Dark Souls is like in its own category. But like
that's not what I was referring to, but no, I see what you're saying.
You know, like it's one of those things where like learning the controls is kind of the point of the game, instead of the actual progression. Like,
right.
You know, it's not like you make it like, 5 meters and then you goof up and can like it's not like there's a new obstacle at the 5 meter mark. The obstacle
I see what you're saying.
Itself.
It's still the control. It's always the controls.
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
that's why Flappy Bird was so addicting, right? Flappy Bird? We all remember.
No, I know what Flappy Bird is, but
because the controls were always the same. They were always janky.
Okay, now, yeah, okay. No.
But it was like, how far can you get under these weird parameters?
Mm-hmm.
Same with QWOP and CLOP and GURP, which is you're a rock climber. That's the gist of it, right? And it's like hand, foot.
Okay. Sounds easier.
Control forearm.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
I want to play. I haven't played GURP.
Okay.
So I'm.
Well, we'll do a let's play.
We're not gonna do that. Maybe we'll stream it one day. Maybe when my computer isn't overheating and I can like actually like do things with it, we can like stream again and like.
You can finally take it out for that froyo it's been asking you for.
It's well,
I was just imagining a montage with her and the computer, like like swing sets at a park and stuff.
See, I'm just imagining taking an entire cup of frozen yogurt and dumping it into my
putting
grill,
it on the computer.
like flipping it upside down, and like so I have like holes on top of it that like I have the little like cheese grater holes. So I'm just imagining it like seeping in and destroying my computer slowly. That's just where my brain is today.
That's what I thought of too, and then Jacob was like, Jacob, you ruined it with happiness.
No, I reject his happiness.
Like it's been begging for the sweet release of death. This whole time.
I mean,
moving on.
Like,
like no.
Did we have another one in this category? Because we haven't no, we didn't.
Those are the three in the category. Since there's only two in this other category, we'll go to those first. And since I them simulator games, So
but
like
specifically the weird ones.
Specifically like the bad ones. So like
Yeah.
Surgeon Simulator is like I think typically that would be the first thing to come to mind because that's like one of the oldest. And we're not talking about like Farming Simulator or like Euro Truck Simulator or any of that.
More
like
importantly,
actual simulator shit.
More importantly, we're talking
Simulator.
And Goat Simulator.
Yes, Goat Simulator.
I don't know why you react like that. Goat Simulator is wild.
It's like Gary's mod to me. Like, I'm not interested in it. Like, it doesn't excite me.
It's not meant for you.
No, it's not. Like, it's not the type of game I would play. Like, I would play Surgeon Simulator and get pissed off and, like, put a controller through my television.
It's just like you just have to, okay, wait, hold on. You gotta, like, humor people, though, right?
No,
like,
I understand.
Like, someone else
I understand people like it.
Every time you mention Star Wars, I don't go, like,
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. I am confused. I'm like, because I'm confused as to why people find enjoyment in Goat Simulator. Like, why?
I'm confused as to why people find enjoyment out of Star Wars.
Okay, Jacob, what?
Okay, a point for being a Star Wars fan versus being a Goat Simulator.
Oh my god!
Those are not mutually exclusive things, Jacob.
No. I'm
not
saying...
calves and calves again. These are completely, they're not even the same word.
No, what I'm saying is, like, as far as being annoyed at someone who is into one of those fandoms, or both, who knows, I don't know anyone who has a Goat Simulator tattoo, or knows who knows one of the languages in Goat Simulator.
My point was more that imagine if every time you all mentioned something that I don't like, I just went, ugh.
Then you would just be on the, like, in every episode would be Jacob and I talking, and you going,
exactly.
in the background, the entire episode.
So when I mention things that I enjoy,
I understand that you enjoy it. Okay, can you explain to me why you enjoy it? Why is it fun to you? Because I can explain to you why I like Star Wars, if this is the comparison we're at right now. Like,
it's not I'm not making a comparison of Star. Okay, you are missing the point. You are literally missing the entire.
What's the point?
Here's the point. Here it is. The point I am trying to make is simply a don't yuck someone's yum, regardless of what that yum is to that person. Because your yum could be ice cream, or your yum could be pickles, or your yum could be literally eating dirt. It doesn't matter.
Ice cream.
If you have pica.
Yeah, if you have pica. There's literally, so it's an iron deficiency thing, but pretty much where you have a craving and a desire to eat dirt because you're craving the iron from the earth.
What the fuck?
Welcome to Educational Facts with Jacob and Brenna.
What the fuck? Okay, let's please leave that disturbing part of the conversation elsewhere.
My point is...
I understand your point.
Okay.
I'm not like this, like, we'll reference the gatekeeping episode. Like, I'm not like, this is bad and you should feel bad for liking
and that's
like,
and that's what I'm saying.
I'm just confused.
But it's also slightly disheartening and it feels dismissive when someone sits there and you're like, it's like when I tell people that Bill and Ted's one of my favorite movies and they just go, really?
I feel like that's different because you like Bill and Ted because you recognize that it's bad but enjoyable.
Yes, but that's not. But people, I have a lot of people who don't even accept that explanation for it.
Okay, well those people are stupid.
Yes, those people are pretentious gatekeepers. Yes, we can agree on that. But the point I'm simply trying to make, I like Goat Simulator because it's ridiculous. I feel like
that was an explanation.
Yeah,
that was the explanation I needed. That's why you like Goat Simulator. Like, okay, I was just confused as to why you liked it.
I feel like my brand is pretty clear now on this podcast, right? Like, if it's silly, if it's fun, if it's ridiculous, if I can have a good time and maybe get a little frustrated and let out some steam, I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, and specifically, like someone who plays, not that you don't play video games, but someone who plays, like, significantly less video games than Jacob or I. Like,
correct.
The types of games you like The Sims.
I don't play AAA games very often.
Or Skyward Sword, or like a Goat Simulator.
Okay, I do not enjoy Skyward Sword. Do not mistake. I'm
Point.
Don't let's put that on the record.
I would never group those games in the same category, like ever at all.
Yeah. No, but yeah, like I don't play AAA games. I barely play like. I like Civ, but I don't play it a lot. Huh? I don't even
go here.
You asked me to be on this podcast.
No, it's a reference to a joke from another thing.
Is it?
Jacob,
I had no idea.
Surgeon Simulator.
Surgeon Simulator.
So Jacob has the most hands-on experience with Surgeon Simulator. Not actual surgery, Jacob, but Surgeon Simulator. Now I feel like we have to be abundantly clear about things to you. Like.
Well, there was this one time when my neighbor.
Jacob, you're not MacGyver.
Oh, look! My neighbor had a really big splinter in their foot, and we didn't want his parents to know that he had done something dangerous. And so I snuck into my house and
That's just a pro move.
I
Getting a splinter does not.
It was like
those are not mutually exclusive things.
It was touched deep into his foot.
And that doesn't mean he did something dangerous. It just means he's stupid.
I mean, like, I've removed glass from people's feet from accidentally dropping glasses at sleepovers when no one was supposed to know. Like,
yeah, we
burned down the house.
Had surgery.
Yeah, you two almost burned down a house, which is impressive. But that's also not like surgery.
Firefighting. No, okay, fine, sure.
But yes, no.
Jacob has performed surgery in real life and in Surgeon Simulator.
So yeah, I played it for like 2 seconds, and then I was.
So you have the most hands-on experience with Surgeon Simulator. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, all experience with Surgeon Simulator is hands-on because you are nothing but a pair of hands.
True
so why are the controls for Goat Simulator and Surgeon Simulator? Well, like Surgeon Simulator is bad on purpose. I think. I like hope that it's bad on purpose.
So here's what I love about this. So these are all like generally put out by the same distribution company, right?
Of course.
And what I think is most fun about it is they have games they clearly pour their heart and soul into, and they have games for when they get Shrek'd.
Okay.
I think they have games that they just
taking
need to
it back.
Yeah, I think they have games that they just need to like blow off steam on, or like they put the new programmers on it because it doesn't have to be good. Like,
right, okay.
I think it's just like, I mean, imagine if all day long, all you did was create incredibly realistic truck simulators.
I mean, someone does do that as their job. Like, that is their job.
Yes, but imagine if that was
at the studio that puts out Euro Truck Simulator.
But you don't think that some of the people who work on Euro Truck Simulator also haven't worked on Goat Simulator, just like for a day or two?
Maybe. I have no idea if they're even related to the same company. They have Simulator at the end, but that does not mean anything to me.
But they're like that same aesthetic too, and they use the same font, which means me to believe.
Are you saying Goat Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator are the same aesthetic? Is that what you just said?
They use the same font.
Yikes.
They use the same font. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yikes.
They use the same font.
No, you're right about that, but yikes. Yikes. Big yikes energy.
Whatever.
Are they the same studio? Please tell
I'm
me.
looking. No, they're not. So Goat Simulator is put out by Coffee Stain Studios. Although, wait, Embrace
Euro Truck Simulator is made by a company that seems to make a lot of like.
They make like farming simulator and like train simulator and shit, right?
No, it's all it's trucks and hunting.
Okay.
The two most similar things?
Hunting game.
Southern White Man Simulator. Got it.
Southern White Man Simulator, absolutely, yes.
Well, like, I mean, it's not. It's also like Midwest.
It's very Midwest.
Yeah, no, it's super Midwest. Okay, so like, why are the controls for Goat Simulator bad? It's like the controls in Surgeon Simulator are bad because it's bad, like, unless you're wearing gloves to like try to imitate a pair of hands, like doing ridiculous things.
I think truly the reason why is because it's just a parody. It is a parody of silly simulators. It is a parody of of driving a truck, right? They just took the thing that they thought would be the silliest thing to become you are a goat.
Right.
Yeah. But then what I find even funnier is then Ultimate Goose Game came out like several years later, and that is a simulator.
Ultimate Goose Game are amazing.
Well,
there's a single button devoted to honking. The game is amazing.
But but they have the same premise, right? You are an animal. You must live your life as an animal.
But Ultimate Goose Game has puzzles and
plot. They took the same premise and did very different things with it. And Goat Game technically has puzzles.
Ultimate Goat Game.
Do you know how hard it is to summon Satan?
Wait, I'm sorry. What? I don't know if I got that far in Ultimate Goose Game.
in Goat Simulator, do you know how hard it is to summon Satan?
I absolutely do not, because
You have to acquire so many things. You have to acquire an obscene amount of things. Hold on. Goat Simulator. Is it just demons?
Here's the question. So is Goat Simulator, because it's a parody, or because we're going to describe it as a parody, does that mean the controls are intentionally bad? Or
yes, I think they intentionally made the controls bad because it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So the devil goat
that's my main question.
The devil goat is the true main antagonist and the mutator that gives the goat black fur, glowing orange eyes, and six horns. You have to complete the devil goat achievement. Pressing special activates the goat devil's dynamic powers, causing it to suck in nearby objects to form a ball in front of the goat. The goat devil also seems to be faster than the standard goat. Also, if you are a ragdoll and you activate devil goat's special ability, the goat will fly around the world. You cannot control the goat when it's in this state. The only way to stop its flying is to stop using the ability. However, you may fly out of the map. Doing this, since the kinetic force of the goat being sucked into the ability will likely throw it out of bounds.
What the fuck is this game?
I mean, we can do. Look,
we have to stream these games where we're like, what the fuck is this game?
That's
we
need
to
saying. I feel like we should
take note and be like, what the fuck is this game? Okay, this is what the fuck this game is.
Let's do some terrible dating sims. Let's do Goat Game.
If we're doing terrible dating sims, we have to do
the one where we're dating a dinosaur.
Or that one, yeah. Okay.
No, you're dating you're trying to woo a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Or what is it? It's Hatto for boyfriend or whatever.
Hatto for boyfriend, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the pigeons.
Something that I've been thinking about too is the way that they achieve bad controls is just by making them sensitive.
Yeah.
Sensitive with ragdoll physics that's it. Woo, you have bad controls now.
In terms of these games, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of the time. So, yeah, I feel like that, there are some... Surgeon Simulator is also a parody, I would argue, of the simulator.
Well, yeah, it's not meant to be,
Yeah, of course.
It's not meant to be super meticulous, actual surgery.
Yeah.
It's in the same vein as, Operation, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Except it's mean to you. It's wow, congratulations. This person is literally dead now.
Patient endangerment for the fun of children, yes.
Also, speaking of things that don't teach you correct human body parts, the game Operation.
Yeah.
Because those aren't actual organs.
They're not actual organs?
But how would I know?
You don't say. Yeah, how do you know that?
Operation is bad controls of the game.
It's basically just sensitive.
It's the board game version of this.
Did you ever, when you were playing it as a kid, like feel bad that you like
No.
hurt this man when you accidentally
No.
like hit the sides?
See,
Just
I don't have
Do either
feelings
of you
about
have
things.
a heart?
Well, like this is I give Jacob shit about like not being able to make mean choices in video games, and also our friend Ian. I give him so much shit about this. Like, it's not real. Like it doesn't matter. Like, computers don't have feelings yet.
But the moral obligation. But like your morals exist, right? I refuse to blow up Megaton. I refuse to blow up Megaton.
I did it to see what would happen. But I did it on a separate, I was like, okay, on this playthrough of Fallout 3, I'm going to be, like, a nice person. This one, I'm going to, go in the middle. And this one, I'm just going to be, like, the biggest asshole that ever lived. Like,
have I ever talked about how in Fallout 3 I didn't know VATS existed?
Yes.
The first time I played it? I thought I have. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like it's a great story. And
I don't play AAA games. Plays Fallout 3.
Yeah, because my friend was like, you have to, because it takes place in Nova and in DC, and I feel like you'd like it.
Did you?
I did like it. It's my favorite Fallout game.
Okay.
I also haven't played New Vegas though, so.
Yeah, I've talked about why I don't like the last 5% of New Vegas before on the show, but
fair enough. Yeah.
Not the point of this episode. You should play New Vegas though, because it's great up until that point.
Okay.
You have to, like, I can put myself in, like, a moral vacuum when I'm playing a video game. Like, I am not actually this person, even if you're making, like, an avatar.
Do you do that during D&D, too?
It's been a really long time since I've been a player in D&D. So, I would argue...
Because I feel like in D&D...
From my limited, like, remembrance of things... I would argue yes, but I don't know for sure. Like, I've played paladins in D&D as, like, a lawful good character, and I don't, like, as we know, like, I don't describe myself as lawful good. Like, absolutely not. But I've been able to, like, separate myself and be like, okay, what choices would this character that I'm trying to be make? Like, I don't know. This is going to sound like arrogant, but I'm able to put myself in that moral vacuum where I am not, like, I fully recognize that I am not this person. I am not this character. I'm not trying to be this character. I'm not trying to be this person. But for the sake of playing the game and getting, like, the fullness of the game and, like, enjoying the fullness of the game, I don't have to, but I want to be able to experience all the aspects of the game. So I want to see what it's like, for example, in Fallout 3, to be an evil person and to have everyone hate you. Like, I want to see how that relates to being a nice person and everyone loves you forever. Like, so, I don't know. I have to put myself in that moral vacuum to be like, okay, how would this be?
I mean, I just don't find... I understand that. I just don't find that way of playing it fun for me, and that's just me, right? Like...
Well, right.
I don't need to know how... I don't need to know what happens if I kill dog meat. I don't need to know what happens if, like, I murder an entire town in D&D. Like, and like, I get...
Right.
And
no, that makes sense. And, like...
At most, I can play a true neutral character. I can play someone who's a little self-centered and who's, like, willing to, like, take some things, but I can't do, like... I have difficulty doing neutral chaos, and I have difficulty doing evil, period. I can do good chaos. Good chaos is fun, right? Like,
right.
It's trapping a little girl in a circle of dinosaurs. It's like...
Right, we have done that.
We've talked that, yeah, because the last time I mentioned that, you also had that face.
I don't know. We talked on the show before about, like, sorry, Jacob, we'll come back. But we've talked on the show before about, like, is it, like, about experiencing, like, how much of games do we want to experience? Like,
right.
And it's not that you want to experience less of the game, it's just that you don't care about that part of the game.
It is uninteresting to me, because I wouldn't feel good about it. I will fully reload if I feel like I made the wrong choice. Or if I like angered the wrong people. Like when I was playing Outer Worlds,
Outer Worlds is also pretty short, so you could play the game start to finish several times.
Yeah.
Not the point. Anyway,
but
sorry,
Jacob,
good. What were you gonna say?
I don't replay games very often, so on the first playthrough, I basically always do I want the good ending.
Yeah.
And then I just don't have I know how the game ends, I know how the mechanics work, I know what the levels are. Like the only time that I played through multiple bad endings was in Shadow the Hedgehog, which has 8 different endings and shows you, and there's specific level, you actually play different levels depending on which paths you take instead of just playing
the level the same way or whatever.
The same plot and setting necessarily.
That's kind of cool.
Jacob also admitted that he played Shadow the Hedgehog. Let the record reflect. Jacob admitted that he played through the Shadow the Hedgehog game 8 times.
So the court reporter has now reported that I did not in fact enjoy Skyward Sword, and that Jacob has in fact played Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm just making sure our stenographer.
More than once.
More than once. Well, he played it.
It shows you a little path of here's how this ending goes. It shows you what you haven't experienced yet. It's not like I was going through multiple playthroughs and trying all of these different crazy things. Beforehand. It tells you hey, you haven't done this thing yet in the game.
I support this. I would not support this if you were just trying to get different endings specifically, but because it also has different levels and different game mechanics in this process, I fully support this. Play Shadow the Hedgehog as many times until you are done.
Yeah. And then I think
also don't play it because it's bad.
If you beat all of those,
or do play it because it's bad. Ooh, question. I just want to, on the topic of bad controls, and I know these aren't intentionally bad controls, but I just want to talk about it, and we can talk about this more on a future episode. But since we're on the topic of Sonic 06.
Sonic what?
06.
That should just be on a bad games episode. Games that are objectively bad.
Man.
I feel bad for people that are die-hard Sonic fans. I'm a fan of Sonic as a character, but
we could do a glitchy games episode.
I'm gonna throw this out there, and whatever, nail me to the cross if you have to. But Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was the last good Sonic game.
Yeah.
No contest for me.
Right? I haven't really played a whole lot of Sonic games, so.
The final form that Sonic has in Sonic and the Secret Rings is kind of cool looking, but that was the only good part of the game.
Was it better? Was it cooler than the original design for the movie Sonic? Because that was my favorite. I loved that design for Sonic. Those legs, those human legs.
Do a comparison.
God, I love it when Sonic has human legs. It's my favorite.
Stop. Okay, this is in a different category. I'm not really sure why, because it feels like Goat Simulator, the way you describe Goat Simulator is the way I would kind of describe this game, but it also is kind of like QWOP. I Am Bread.
Okay, so I have, in this category, the ones I want to talk about.
Okay, yeah, list the category and then describe what I Am Bread is.
So in this, I have, so it's much like Clop and QWOP and GURP. These are individual controls, right? But the objective is very clear, right? It's not just go until you can't anymore. It's in I Am Bread, you have to get across the room. You have to get yourself in the toaster. You then have to get yourself out of the toaster and make sure you have butter on you. It's a very clear goal.
Become toast.
Become toast. Do not.
What's with the glasses?
It's not glasses. His eyes are blanked out.
He is the void.
He looks like he's been run over.
Yeah.
He looks like a
douchey Dodge Charger.
Yeah, like the racing stripe is not a good look for him.
It's not.
Anyway, continue.
Also, wait, I just want to look at it. Is it like encapsulating his dick? Like, would his dick?
Wait,
yeah,
what?
absolutely. No, okay,
I
it doesn't go
definitely
down
missed
his
that.
torso. It doesn't go down his torso. Okay, I was concerned for a second that if it like went down his torso, it would like.
Oh yeah, the racing stripe.
If the racing stripe went down his torso, it would like perfectly frame what would be Sonic's genitalia.
Sonic dick.
He doesn't have it.
Son dick.
I believe.
Okay. I am bread. Point become toast.
Bread. Yeah, point become toast. Octodad.
Deadliest catch.
Look like be a normal man.
Well, no, you have to complete. Well, in Octodad, you have to complete tasks. Like you have to go grocery shopping, and you have to get married, and you have to do things, but still convince your family, who are the dumbest fucking people that have ever lived, that you are a human man.
Yes. Which again, very clear objectives.
Do you remember Animaniacs?
Yes.
And
yes.
The bit where it's like he wears the disguise to look like other guys. He's not a man. He's a chicken. Whatever. I don't even know what they say at the end.
No, there's a
That's how I would describe most of Animaniacs. It's like
if you're unfamiliar,
remember the beginning, and then as they go down the rabbit hole, you're just like, I don't even fucking know what's going on right now.
I love Animaniacs.
Chicken Boo. Chicken Boo is his name.
Chicken Boo. Yeah. So in that like same vein, the Upright Citizens Brigade comedy, like improv comedy group in New York, specifically is the one I'm thinking of, does a like sketch show called Characters Welcome, where people bring like a ridiculous character and do a monologue like as the show. And and they have a YouTube channel. I highly recommend everyone go look up Characters Welcome. There's some great sketches. No, I wish though. I would love that.
Just saying.
But the one that got me on this was 2 trench coats and a kid. So the idea is that these 2 trench coats have crawled inside of a human kid.
Oh, okay, that's the other way around.
Yes, it's fully the other way around.
Okay.
It's just that same, like, I am a child.
Yikes.
It's wild, but it's that same, like, concept.
Big yikes.
I actually saw that show live when I was in New York for my birthday a couple years ago, and one of the best ones there, the character was Aaron Carter, right? And he was lip syncing to Everybody. And Aaron Carter was like 16 or 17 at the time that Everybody came out. So the part where he's like, am I original? Am I the only one? Am I sexual? Am I everything you need? Like, he was only like 17. And the whole like monologue is like, am I original? And then he would just like stop and like pause and go, I don't know. Am I original? And just have like an existential crisis the whole time. It was great.
Question. Do you actually mean Aaron Carter, the son of Nick Carter? Or the younger brother of Nick Carter?
Yeah, in the Backstreet Boys, yes.
He's not in the Backstreet Boys.
Who is also the
Nick Carter
brother.
then.
Nick Carter was the member of the Backstreet Boys.
Whatever. Aaron Carter was in...
Okay, sorry, I was very confused. Okay, I was very confused.
Aaron Carter was in Dream Street? Or did he just have his own...
I think he was just his own thing. Yeah, I know he wasn't part of the Backstreet Boys.
Jesse McCartney was in Dream Street.
Yes, that one.
Take it down on Dream Street. I think about that song a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they related to John Carter of Mars?
They're not.
Doubt
because
it.
He's not a real person.
But,
maybe they wish they were.
So the whole monologue was Nick Carter, and
he wasn't sure about himself.
Yeah, he was just having an existential crisis while asking these questions to the world, like, am I sexual? It was I can't do it justice. It was go support Characters Welcome.
Best existential crisis ever. The character Sharon in the Pokemon games.
Yes.
He's 10 years old and he's having an existential crisis about being the strongest Pokemon trainer in the world.
I agree.
You're 10. Chill.
What, you didn't have existential crises at 10? So I totally
Not
did.
about being the strongest Pokemon trainer in the world, because I was the strongest Pokemon trainer in the world. Fight me in the pit. Anyway, also in this category, Gang Beasts.
Yes. Because again, objective is say,
I fucking love Gang Beasts.
So good. The objective, very clear. Kill your friends.
Unless you're playing one of the other game modes, like soccer. But everyone knows the objective of soccer.
Kill your friends.
Or football. Yes, it is kill your friends. That's the objective. I mean, yeah, no, like, why would you play any other mode other than the Battle Royale mode?
Because the Battle Royale mode is, like, the easiest.
Is awesome and hilarious.
It's hilarious. Every time, there's always something stupid that happens, right? And then you have that one friend who gets way too good at the game, and you're like, why are you good at controlling these, like, janky, stupid controls? Like,
every character in that game is flubber.
Like, obscene. Because you're just Play-Doh. Like, you're just malleable, like, flesh that's just throwing other flesh around. And then the other game in this category, which neither of... Well, there's two more. Happy Wheels I have in a weird in-between. We'll talk about Happy Wheels. But for me, the Mount Your Friends is a wild game. And
like...
Horrible game.
I wish that I had not seen the trailer for this game. Like, I wish I didn't know what this was.
That's how I feel.
Like, I wish so much that I didn't know what this was.
You just didn't want to talk about Mount Your Friends because you didn't know what it was.
No,
so
that's not why I didn't want to talk about
it.
I had heard of it before, but I was like, I don't. If it's this thing, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to know that it exists. And then you reminded me what it was, and it was that thing that I didn't want to talk about and don't want to remember that it exists. But now I remember that it exists, and it's horrible.
I mean, what's wrong with some swinging dicks?
Many things.
Like, do you want to list in, like, order of, like, how long you would go to jail? Or, like, how...
It's about...
Like, alphabetical? Like...
Look, all I'm saying is, in every single game, a female is present, there's almost always boob jiggle physics. Why can't we get dick jiggle physics? I want that quoted. I'll take it.
The original Tomb Raider
had dick jiggle physics?
No, did not have boob jiggle physics.
I mean modern day.
It's really unfortunate that I had to go back that far to find a good example, though.
Isn't it, though?
Now we go back to why Jacob hates the Dead or Alive volleyball game.
And now we go
back. Yeah, we're taking it back. Episode 3.
Yeah, now we talk about why. Because I also hate that.
I don't need either of those.
By the way, they're supposed to come out with one next year. Pre-order your copy now.
I don't care because I don't need.
Jacob cares because he's very uncomfortable.
I care because I want to see their downfall.
I don't care about the game series specifically because I'm just tired of watching boob jiggle physics and, like, very detailed clothed vaginas.
I'm just wondering, like, this is a real question. Like, do people that play these games, like, seriously, like, they're, like, I don't know how seriously you can play these games, but, like, they're aware that, like, real women exist, right?
No, I don't. So I cannot discuss these matters.
You can have actual real sex with a woman. That's a thing that's available to you.
It's not to some of these people, because there are so many.
Okay, no, valid point.
Incel, otaku style men who are physically incapable of respecting a woman and discussing anything past, haha, you have boobs, I have to touch them and then put my penis in your face, and that's just not an enjoyable experience for anyone involved. So no, having sex with a woman is not an option.
Okay, well, okay. No, that's a valid point.
I'm not saying it's a hard and fast rule. I will say though, I bet there's a lot of women who also enjoy this game.
No, you're right. Maybe.
Because lesbians exist and bisexual women exist.
This is true. I just this is going back to the gatekeeping episode again. It's just like, why is respect, like, especially in, like, the gaming community, I feel like it's becoming less so, but, like, why is respecting not even just respecting women, but like respecting other people, period. Like, why is that a wild concept? Like,
if it weren't a wild concept, there wouldn't be rioting right now. It's not rioting, it's protesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
I know.
Oh no, what happened?
You're fine. You're still going.
Wait, my monitor went to sleep. I was like, oh god, the show is gone. Whew. Okay.
Well, your computer was just in solidarity of Black Lives Matter.
Well, no, yeah, I was literally about to say, fully on the record, that the Dr. Z show supports the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
Like
without a doubt, Black Lives
fuck
Matter.
police coming straight from the underground. Like, not like. Absolutely. Like, if you have a problem, you can fuck off to like some other racist bullshit like show.
Quick tangent. Yeah, for sure. Oh, he froze. Okay, so in front of the Lexington police station today, there were several white people holding signs of like, "We love cops. We respect our men in uniform," and the cops were like fully talking to them, and there was like every part of me that just wanted to like scream. But now there's a part of me that really wants to like approach in the same way and be like, "Hey, I love what you guys do," but like, and like,
can you not?
No, but start the conversation as like a, like totally like an apologist, but then like actually, because they will not talk to anyone who they believe is a protester, at least in Lexington. They refuse to talk to anyone, even white people who they associate with the protest. So the only way to possibly have a conversation or gauge anything would be to approach them as like a, "Hey, I get that your job is difficult, but if your job is so difficult, why isn't a more skilled and specialized program? How much training did you have to go through?"
It's weird to see that in Charlotte because it's like so deep south. Like it's I mean, it's not like deep south. Like it's not like Georgia or Alabama or elsewhere, but like it's very weird to see.
But they're proud of the Confederate flag.
Well, no, it's still weird to see people protest so far south where like the racism is like in the soil. Like it's so like deep seated down here. It's like horrifying. But like seeing people protest is weird, but it like gives me hope. Like,
I mean, why are they protesting in Kentucky, right? Like, well, aside from like the Breonna Taylor stuff, right? Like, Kentucky is an incredibly red state.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of backlash against the protesting here.
But there is still protesting, which is like
protesting.
That's the light at the end of the tunnel.
What's heartbreaking though is like in Louisville specifically, like the Louisville Black Lives Matter movements who are organizing the protests are asking white people to come out simply so that they can form a human shield, so that they'll stop being physically aggressive with the outer lines. Because the moment white people show up, everything changes, and it's like heartbreaking. Because like, I mean, like we've all been in a situation, like I feel like as white people who are moderately aware of race issues, like I've definitely been in situations where being a white person made a situation easier for a friend of color. Like,
oh yeah,
and like,
yeah,
it's uncomfortable every time, and I
even someone who's not your friend, even just like
it's yeah.
I remember there's a time when I was working at my previous job where like I worked in a predominantly, I mean, like I was definitely the minority. Like predominantly most of my coworkers were people of color. And I remember delivering something to a customer and the customer was like, "Oh man, like it must be really hard to work here." And I was like, I mean, like, what are you talking about? Like, the job's, like, you know, yeah, sure, it's, like, physically strenuous. And he's like, no, I mean, like, with these people. And I saw what he was saying, and I was like, oh, no, like, I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? Like, trying to get him to explain, like, that he was a racist. And he was just like, well, you know, like, with all these other people. And I'm like, oh, no, like, it's pretty easy to work with other human beings. Like, you know, you just have to be able to get along with them. well, what's your point? And he was really confused. But anyway, on that note,
I have just my chime.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, because like I do see a lot of people bringing up, arguments like the counter arguments, like kind of against like Black Lives Matter movement, and a lot of times it's like, oh, like, well, like aren't you mad about like crime, like like crime kills people, whatever. But the point is that like cops shouldn't be like we all know, like everyone already agrees that crime is bad, and like that's.
Right.
Why we have
that's not in question. Like
yeah, that's not what people are like. People aren't arguing. People aren't being like pro crime. They're like anti. They're anti like
police brutality.
Supposed to protect.
Yeah.
Like, doing the opposite. Like
yeah, we're anti-murder. Well, and like and the
being anti-murder as a wild stance is just horrifying. Like
the way I framed it too was like, so everyone's like, oh, it's a bad apples thing, right? Like it's just people like it's just bad apples in the job. It's like, okay, cool. Let's take what I do, for example. I sell furniture to people. People regularly hand over their debit cards, their driver's licenses. I've definitely written down social security numbers to run credit card information. I could easily, and I have addresses, I have phone numbers, I have emails. I could easily steal someone's identity. Am I going to? No. Because I'm a good fucking person, and that would be wild for me to do that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But if I did that, I would be fired. I wouldn't be called a bad apple in the furniture industry.
Yeah, you wouldn't be sent to work at like just another
the gulag.
Right. Like I wouldn't be. My location wouldn't be switched because, you
wouldn't get desk duty.
I wouldn't get desk duty. Exactly. I would be fired and prosecuted.
No, absolutely. You don't work in a job where you carry a loaded. Well, right, and you wouldn't, but you also don't work in a job where you carry a loaded firearm with you at all times.
Correct. Like my job is not to enforce and protect. My job is to make sure people are comfortable.
To avoid this entire show taking a wild left turn into that.
A wild left turn?
A wild left turn has appeared.
You're not wrong. So do you want to go back up the list after the weird dick swinging physics? How did we get on dick? How did we get on Black Lives Matter from dick swinging physics?
Because I went on a feminist rant.
No, that's just like I don't want to. I don't want to actually remember, but just,
the short answer is feminism.
That's how we got there.
Civil equality for all.
Anyway. So Zenbound, Getting Over It, and Baba Is You are the next.
And then Happy Wheels, which is like this in between, right? Because Happy Wheels has a very clear directive, right? But that clear directive is also muddled by the dumbest obstacles and puzzle solving I've ever seen in the game. I dislike
Happy Wheels. Do you ride like a hoverboard, or is it one of those like
it's a Segway?
Okay,
it's fully a Segway.
And it's like a internet browser game, right?
Yeah.
Like a Gario or a Slither or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I pronounce it as one word. Fight me.
Yeah.
Gario. I just pronounce it.
Yeah. But it's got that same puzzle-solving element, like a more direct puzzle-solving element that things like Zenbound and Getting Over It have, right?
Well, so it's like a platform, right? Like Happy Wheels?
Yeah,
like it's a platform with bad controls.
Right,
because
which is similar to Baba Is You as well. Which, for people who don't know what Baba Is You is...
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't. You explained it last time when we, were going to bring this up, but I do not remember.
So Baba Is You is a game in which you are changing the parameters of the game to solve the puzzle, right?
It's Calvin Ball, the game.
Yes. So you have, 3 parameters, like Baba Is You, wall is stationary, ball is bounce. So it's like a code. It's very much like coding logic based.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to. But what's also wild is you have to use the different things to change, how they work, right? You yourself have to leave the parameters of the game and move the tiles.
Okay.
in the game. So, for example, if you are Baba, you must then move as Baba to change the tiles.
Okay. Can
And
you
Baba's-
become like the room?
You can become the wall. The wall can become bounce. The Baba can become stationary. Like,
Oh, okay, that's very interesting. That's
highly
very
recommend.
logic programming.
It's
As a game.
It's a very fun puzzle game. I highly recommend Baba Is You. If you get nothing else, if you get 2 things out of this episode, get Black Lives Matter and get Play Baba Is You. That's it.
And when you disagree about something, play Gang Beasts and throw your friends into the metal shredder.
Unless you're disagreeing with us about the fact that Black Lives Matter.
In which case, we will throw you into the metal shredder. Fight us in Gang Beasts.
But yeah,
I'm that person that got worryingly good at Gang Beasts. Sorry.
You are, absolutely. You scream. You have that energy. You scream.
Well, Tom Turn brought it to that party that I had, and I was like, how have I not heard about this game? Downloaded it immediately and played it for like a week straight, and then just became like worryingly good at it. And then the next time we had a party, I was like, we're gonna play Gang Beasts, and just fucking crushed everyone. I'm a disappointment in myself. Just know that.
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your calf muscles. Dishonor on your whole family.
You're never gonna forget that, Jacob. Just so you know.
I'm never living that down.
He's never living that
down. Well, I'm never letting you live that
down.
Yeah, I'm never letting you.
You can't. Of course, you're never gonna live it down because you can't. It wasn't you.
Speaking of hurting people, getting over it.
Yes, it is a game meant to hurt people.
It's meant to hurt a specific
types of person.
Yeah.
So, getting over it, you are a very muscular man in a cauldron with a pickaxe.
And I feel like we could also have put this in the clap category for sure.
Your goal is to climb a mountain. That's the whole game.
But it's supposed to, and it's like a meditative experiment.
Yeah, he like talks kind of a lot during the game, right? It's sort of like Stanley Parable where the motherfucker never shuts
ASMR.
up.
No, it is very ASMR in a weird way because it's like
stands for rage.
But it's all about like life is difficult, life is stressful, life feels
get
like
over it.
Right, but this is helping you cope with it, right? Like it takes patience, it takes trial and error, it takes like
climbing a mountain with a pickaxe in a cauldron.
But that's what like stress can feel like, right?
Well, yeah, no, and that's the point.
Have you ever had like I'm having one of those days today where I feel like I am a man in a cauldron with a pickaxe.
Been working out, super ripped.
I mean, I've been doing yoga, like.
Is it the Black Cauldron?
My favorite yoga is Yoga Na Die. Also, the Black Cauldron is horrible, and we will not speak of it again because it is fucking terrifying. Christ, I cannot believe that's a Disney movie. That movie still fucking gives me the creeps. I was like looking it up to show somebody the other day, and I watched the scene with like the Skeleton King guy, and I was like, ugh. Like it still gives me the creeps. Fuck, that movie's terrifying.
I mean, that's how I feel about E.T.
E.T.'s just really ugly.
He just makes me really uncomfortable. I don't like this weird lumpy baby.
Before we get to the last game on the list, someone once like didn't know what E.T. was, and they were like talking about it. Well, and so someone else was like trying to describe it to them, and they couldn't describe like what E.T. looked like, and so they described it to this person. They were like, E.T. looks like if you shaved your balls and gave it googly eyes, and I was like, that is horrible, but it is so accurate. Like, is so like tell me that's inaccurate though. Like,
I mean, I would have described him as the 50s description of an alien.
That's not the point. The point, like there are much better ways to describe what ET looks like. Hands down. Like hundreds of better ways. But that was the first thing on this person's mind.
Okay,
is
okay,
to describe it that way. Just like, what else is going on up there?
Maybe
like,
there's a
what
third
is
thing
happening?
we can take out of this
So
episode.
what about the ET video game?
Oh god.
The third thing we can take out of this episode is that if your balls look like ET, you should probably get that checked out by a doctor. I think that's the third thing we can get out of this.
When you call your mom?
Yeah, if they glow when they call you, when you call your mom, you probably have cancer. You should get that checked out. If they're weird and lumpy, they have googly eyes.
If they recognize Yoda.
Yeah. Again, yeah, and if you have super glued googly eyes to them, yeah, you need to go to a hospital. There's nothing you can do about that.
Hey, it's not all bad. You can fly bikes.
You can. Your balls can fly a bike, which is nice. So that's, you know what?
I'll chalk that down to things I never thought I would hear anyone say as a sentence. But sure.
I mean, look, in this day and age with how expensive ambulances are, and you need to get to the hospital quickly.
Yeah, so fly your bike.
So fly your bike. Let's go fly a bike.
My first thought of a song reference is the Pink Floyd song. But point. Okay, Zenbound. Last thing on the list.
Zenbound.
It's fitting.
Yes.
Jacob brought this up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Take it away, Jacob.
Bring
it back because you only have it for 7 days before you have to return it.
That's our return policy here.
Blockbuster, what?
We're a Blockbuster now.
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster tangent though. I was talking to Abby the other day about like games that I've returned. And
the strangest thing ever.
I was trying to check out like probably a Pokemon game or something from Blockbuster for the Game Boy Color, and it was like Tomb Raider, and I was like, oh, this is like M-rated, I can't play it. And so then I returned it.
Wow, you are such a good kid, even
Great
as
story,
a kid.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob has always been this way. Like,
I know.
the entire time I've known him, he's been this way.
Yeah.
Even before I knew him, he was this way.
It's the game I played a lot of from Blockbuster. Just quite was The Sims. I played a lot of like
Ready to Rumble Boxing 2, the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, so I just looked at games with difficult controls, and Zenbound was on the list, and it's a mobile game that is the difficult controls are meant to be like a puzzle. Like it's more that you have this puzzle, and because you have like touch sensitive controls, you have to be super precise.
Because the point of the game,
to cover something in paint, and you only have so much of this like string with paint on it that you can use.
Which is a horrible way to paint.
Yeah.
I imagine somebody like trying to paint their walls with like a rope, just like
you gotta whip it.
But I can imagine that would be a really cool like aesthetic though, like if you like did it artfully. Like imagine like throwing ropes at walls that are covered in paint. I feel like that could be
forever the art student.
I just like can't help that I'm like the artsy one in the group, so like I have to like really like bring this like out in all of my.
Oh, stop.
I have a.
The voice is good when it's used in context. When it's not used in context, it's like. It's like Claire always tries to get me to say the "I'm a pretty lady" thing, but like every time I do it, I'm like, it's not as. It's not that good. I can't be that good at it. Like I can't. Like Jacob is the OG pretty lady.
Speaking of being
the prettiest lady.
I am not though, because we played Pretty Pretty Princess at my 21st birthday, and Mitch won. So.
Who won?
Mitch.
Oh, he did. That's true.
I'm a pretty, pretty princess. I'm a pretty, pretty princess.
And because we were missing a bunch of the pieces, there was only one ring, and it was like the black ring that was supposed to curse you. But Yeah, but we just had to like trade. So instead of being able to like everyone slowly building up their own collection, we were just like stealing pieces from each other.
Pretty Princess Cutthroat Edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I just don't do the voice as well as Jacob does it. Like,
this is just a total side note, but I was just thinking about it, and this is what I was referencing too. So in marching band camp in high school, the percussionists, whenever they were teaching them how to backwards march, they always told them, like, in order to, like, because a lot of them didn't stand up straight enough and like look tall when they did it, they like would hunch over, right? Like you're the opposite of what you're supposed to do in marching, especially when you're carrying a big heavy drum. So the way they like got them to sit up straight was they forced them to put their hands over their heads, like when they were initially learning it.
okay.
And they would always bring party hats on this day. And they would have them hold their hands over their heads, much like you would in fifth position in ballet, and they would march backwards saying, "I'm a pretty, pretty princess," because it fits a good 4 count. So they just go, "I'm a pretty, pretty princess. I'm a pretty, pretty princess."
That's horrifying and humiliating, and I love it.
And then they would start and then they would start turning at the end just for fun. And then we would stop and we'd make the whole band watch the percussionists.
That's humiliating, and I love it.
I mean, the percussionists usually deserve it, right?
I mean, yeah.
They were not pretty, pretty princesses. They were pretenders to the throne.
Oh no! They were pretty, pretty princesses. They had the party hats. We allowed them.
Did they have the noble blood?
Anyway.
Marching band is democracy.
So, no, it's not. It's an oligarchy. Everyone knows.
Olive Garden?
So,
but marching band is an Olive Garden. Is that?
That's the name of this episode. Yes.
I was gonna
that
say
was your
like
question.
Yeah.
Because when you're there, you're family at both Olive Garden and in marching band. And tell me I'm wrong.
One of my favorite things that my roommate freshman year said was, he said, "Family Garden. When you're there, you're Olives." It killed me.
That was Brett, wasn't it?
No.
No, it seems like a Brett thing to say.
No, it was my friend Mike.
Mike.
And
Mike is too many people are named.
I was roommates with Brett until sophomore year, so.
Okay. Secret backstory information abounds in this episode. So, your favorite game on the list, if you had to pick one?
I am Brett.
Jacob?
Co-op, just because it's the only one that I've spent the most time playing.
I do love Baba Is You, though.
It's
obviously
different for me between Octodad and Gang Beasts, but Gang Beasts.
That's fair. I am almost positive, though, the moment I start playing Zenbound, I will be obsessed.
Probably.
I would be willing to bet money on that.
Get on it, and we'll reconvene on the Dr. Z show next time. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, stenographer, for showing up today. You kept a very good record.
We are not sponsored by the U.S.
by the stenographer.
All right, we'll see you guys next time on the Dr. Z show.
Adios.